Hi guys, this is a redirect to my reaction to episode 6 of Breaking Bad season 1. Just a disclaimer again, this is just a reaction, a trial reactions to the first season of Breaking Bad, and then I'll just watch the rest of the seasons in my own time, in my own pace. So on my Patreon I'm doing trial reactions at the moment, and when I upload this on YouTube I would have already reacted to Your Lie in April and Breaking Bad episode 7 on Patreon, or at least I think I would have uploaded those already, but they will be uploaded in February. So wow, this was an amazing episode. So episode 6, oh man, that ending when Walter threw the fulminated mercury piece and then the whole building exploded. He really showed Tuco what he was up against. Like, he really put him in his place. Like, Tuco was being such an asshole. He was a absolute arsehole. I can't believe he beat up Jesse over just asking for money up front. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the whole point of business, man. F's. That guy's so violent. Like, oh man, when I saw Jesse in the hospital because he got beat up so badly by Tuco, I was like, what? Oh man. Alright, so at the beginning of this episode, Walter has started his chemotherapy treatment and he was getting bold as the episode progressed, and then he finally shaved his head. He was also getting other symptoms, other side effects. So getting bald is one of the main side effects of chemotherapy. So he was getting that, and he did get too hot sometimes. Like when he was trying to cook meth in the lab, he got really hot, and like Jesse figured out that he has cancer because he saw the dot in his chest. Because he said that his aunt had to take chemotherapy as well for her cancer, but she didn't survive. She didn't survive that long. So Jesse was able to figure out that Walter had cancer because of the dot and for having those side effects. So yeah, this episode where Jesse finds out that Walter has cancer, lung cancer, and Walter is currently taking chemotherapy, and he got really mad at Jesse. He was like really demanding that he just he's the one that is supposed to cook the meth, while Jesse is the one that actually deals with the people that want to buy the meth. So he wants Jesse to deal with the customers basically. But Walter, he is so desperate for money, and I was just like, this is so immoral. Like, I know that sometimes a lot of jobs don't pay well, but just get another job or something. Money shouldn't be like such a big priority. Like, I mean, like, it shouldn't be like such a big deal. Like, survival should be your first priority, if anything. Anyway, so yeah, he had to then, because he told Jesse that they need a distributor because he really wants a lot of money. So when they sell the meth, he wants it to be sold in bulk as opposed to in little batches. That way they get a lot of money out of it. So Jesse found a distributor called Tuco, who is the one that replaced Krazy 8 as someone who's distributing the drugs. So unfortunately though, Tuco is not a reasonable man. Even though he really liked the meth that Jesse gave to him, he knew that Jesse didn't cook it, so he asked questions like, who are you working with? And then when he accepted the meth, he did not pay up front, and Jesse was like, I don't do business that way, you have to pay me up front instead of later on. And it turns out Tuco was an absolute trickster, so he would never have paid if Jesse had left. At the time I thought it's just so risky because they are extremely bad people, so I would want to at least get out alive, you know. So because Jesse stood up for himself, he got beat up really badly by Tuco, and I knew some sort of violence was going to happen, like dealing with those kind of people. You can't trust them. But I mean, fair enough, you want to stand your ground for your business. Um, I was just worried that they might have guns or something. So that's why I was feeling like Jesse might. I don't think it's worth it. Just go. Um, but anyway, oh man. Tuco, he got pissed when Jesse was standing up for himself. So he beat him up. Jesse was hospitalized and he wasn't even conscious. He even got broken ribs, apparently. Oh man, that is so devastating. So I don't know if he's gonna wake up in the next episode. Probably will, but just the severity of it, I don't know. Um, so he's in a coma at the moment, unconscious at the moment. So Walter was like, he was guilt ridden because he was the one that told Jesse, like, you are dealing with the customers and distributor. I don't contact those people, but you're in the drug dealing business. You're in this together, though. You can't blame everything on Jesse. So, and you really should have discussed it properly with him before he started selling the meth. Um, to be honest. So yeah, Walter was getting very frustrated and angry throughout this episode. Another thing, Hank is getting very, very suspicious because he found one of the masks is actually from the school that Walter works in. So, oh man, Hank is getting so much evidence. It's only a matter of time until he finds out that Walter is the one that's doing the drug dealing. He did arrest Hugo, who was the one that actually who was the one that got arrested. So they think that Hugo, the janitor, was the one that was drug dealing because he already had a record. So really, Walter is very lucky that someone else already had a record for drug dealing. Otherwise, you know, it would have been really bad for Walter. So it turns out that when Hank was like investigating Walter's classroom, some of the flasks and like some of the equipment, chemistry equipment, was stolen. So Hank was initially thinking that one of the students was taking his chemistry equipment to make meth. That was the initial assumption until he arrested Hugo when they investigated Hugo. Um, so uh, even though Hugo has a record anyway, like, oh man, I didn't think Hugo would have a criminal record because with schools you're supposed to check everyone. You're supposed to check the staff members, even the janitor, to see if they have a criminal record, and yet something like this just passes on. Like, it's crazy. So when Walter came in, oh man, that was so bad. As he shaved his head and then he came to see Tuco and he demanded so much money. And Tuco was like, no way am I giving you that money. And I beat up your little bitch boy and stuff like that. And I'm like, damn, this guy is such an asshole. Like, he's so greedy. Like, he won't give any money to neither Jesse or Walter. He just kept it all in a safe, and I'm like, how much money do you want? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with it? So Walter, that badass that he is an absolute chemistry expert. He actually disguised the meth as fulminated mercury. Oh man. So basically he threw the meth, which wasn't meth, it was fulminated mercury, and it exploded. The whole building exploded. The thing is, the actual people weren't like hurt or anything, so I'm a little bit like, how come? How come no one got hurt from that? But I guess the actual explosion was redirected to the actual wall and the windows because the windows broke. So that was a really badass moment. Then Tuco was like getting really scared because of his explosive mercury. So because basically Walter had an explosive on him, Tuco was like, okay, you can have the money. He gave him so much money. That's how Walter was able to get that huge sack of money. And that's the scene that we saw right at the beginning. So I was trying to like formulate a storyline that Walter was going to come in and demand money, but I wasn't sure how the hell he would come out alive from that, because we already saw how Tuco is quite ruthless, how he was able to beat up Jesse. I was saying, like, was he going to use the red phosphorus again? But apparently he's got even more tricks up his sleeve, so he's an absolute badass. Very dangerous. Walter is a very dangerous man when it comes to his chemistry. Like, he can make up something and, oh man, he can kill you, man, with the chemistry. So yeah, a very awesome episode. So yeah, that's my thoughts. What do you think of this episode? Let me know and stay tuned for more.